Hi guys, I hope you're all well. Today I am going to be doing a Charlotte Tilbury makeup haul and review video. Now the fantastic thing is that I ordered 3 products, but I've actually been able to test out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 products, because with every purchase you get 2 free samples. Get yourself a cuppa, sit nice and comfortably, and I will tell you all about my recent Charlotte Tilbury finds. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the Charlotte Tilbury brand. It feels like she's been around forever. People are raving about her products and there's reviews and hauls coming up left, right and centre. So I thought I'd join in on the action. So looking through the products on Charlotte Tilbury's website, it was really easy to find out as much as you could want to know about them. And the one thing that I love about her website as well is the fact that it gives you application tips. So if you're somebody that is new to a product that you're thinking of purchasing, you can actually check out the application tips tab and it will show you how she recommends you apply her product, which is really, really handy, and it's a lovely touch. It's a fantastic attention to detail. So when my box came in the post, it was just a plain bog standard box, you know, nothing to be excited about. But then when you open it, I love the fact that they've actually decorated the inside of the box. It just gave me that sense of anticipation and like, oh, isn't it pretty? So I opened up the box and it obviously has the advert for the Charlotte Tilbury fragrance called Scent of a Dream. All my products were packaged nicely in the tissue paper with a little Charlotte Tilbury rose gold sticker on the front, which is really cute. And another lovely attention to detail was the fact that you get this gorgeous envelope. I'll just hold it like that so it doesn't reflect in the light. But it's rose gold embossed and it's Charlotte Tilbury with her logo, and your free samples and your invoice come in this cute little envelope. And I just thought the whole effort that they've gone to make your unwrapping experience just that little bit more special is just lovely, and it certainly creates an excitement and it just makes you want to dive in, and that's certainly what I did. So I'm going to share with you the products that I actually purchased. So the first item that I bought was the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. It's quite a mouthful. All of her products come beautifully packaged in this dark burgundy box with rose gold writing, and rose gold is just my favourite thing. And what I also love, if you like little things like this, Charlotte Tilbury's thing is stars, okay? And just on the packaging you've got this cute little star, and you'll find that across all of her stuff. There'll just be this tiny little hidden star just as you open it and you think, oh, isn't that cute? So let's get it out. This is my powder, and I bought this in shade number 1, which is called Fair. Now, if I open up the packaging for you, you can see the powder. It's shade Fair, and I'm actually wearing it today. So I've used this with a brush, and I've just loosely dusted it over my T-zone to set my foundation and my concealer. So that's how I choose to use it. Alternatively, I normally use a loose powder by number 7, which I get on really, really well with, and I've used for a long time now, and I'm quite happy with it. But because this powder got such fantastic reviews, I really wanted to try it out and try a more high-end sort of product to see if I'm missing out on anything. So the shade is Fair. You do have to select your shade on the website, but I tend to be fair in everything. Powders don't tend to be so heavily pigmented unless they're a powder foundation, so you can't go too far wrong. It does have a mirror in the lid, and talking of little stars, there's another one hidden just there, which is really cute. So there's a mirror in the lid of the compact, and the compact, it's very, very shiny, very reflective, but it is this rose gold, which she has throughout her brand, which is just so on trend, and it's really, really beautiful. The packaging is plastic. I don't mind at all, but I will just say that it might mean that it's more likely to wear and tear or perhaps crack if you're the sort of person like me that just chucks stuff in the bottom of your handbag and it kind of knocks about a bit. So when I noticed that it was plastic, I thought, okay, this is not going in the bottom of my handbag. I've been using this for the last 5 days and I've been getting on really well with it. I use it mainly down my T-zone and under my eyes, and I actually swish it all around my eye socket so that it kind of mattifies my skin if I wanted to wear like eyeshadow or anything like that. I do take it over my lips as well so that it holds my lipstick in place that little bit better. And I did notice that it's a very finely milled powder. It's very delicate, it's very light. It really isn't very pigmented, so I wouldn't use this to offer coverage. I would just use it as a setting powder, and it does that beautifully. But if I'm going to be really honest, which I always promise to be, I don't think this powder does anything more special for me than my number 7 loose powder does. It's £33, which is an awful lot of money. I do enjoy using it and I will certainly use it up and get my money's worth out of it, because I don't use a lot of powder in one go, so I believe it's going to last me a long time. So on to my next purchases. These two kind of go hand in hand really. I bought the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick, and this is in shade Pillow Talk, which is a really new shade for her. I purchased separately the matching Lip Cheat Lip Shape and Resize lip liner, and this is also in Pillow Talk. So you can see they come in their boxes, and what's really cute is you can see that this box has an actual shine to it, but because this is a matte lipstick, they've actually put it in a matte box, which is just, you know, it's just one of those cute little touches. And what that signifies for me, because I am one of those attention to detail people, I do notice stuff like this, and I love that about a company. You know, it really shows that they care, and it really shows that they've got the consumer in mind. As you open the packet, you've got another little star. The, what do you call it? Tube compact. The packaging is this beautiful rose gold again. It's got her logo on the top there, and I love the shape of the lipstick. It's nice and chiseled, so when you put it on, it literally just glides and moves with the shape of your lips, whatever your shape may be. What I love about this is the fact that it's a matte lipstick, but it goes on like a cream. So it's really, really comfortable, which means you can wear it beautifully for day wear. And that's exactly what I do. I've been wearing it most days since I bought it. I actually included this lipstick in a recent blog post, which was all to do with my romantic reds and perfect pinks for Valentine's lips. So I will link that blog post below. So it glides on really nice and creamy, which is fantastic, because if you're like me and you like to use a matte product, but you tend to be on the drier side with your lips, then this is just a fantastic formulation, because it's so comfortable and it doesn't leave you dry at all. You can wear it all day and you will just feel comfortable. Plus it's easy to apply because it glides, it has that movement. I find this a really ladylike, sophisticated pink. I think because it's such an easygoing nude colour, you'll get a multitude of wears out of it afterwards as well. The lipstick costs £23. £23 is a lot for a lipstick. I think it is anyway. There's people out there that will probably not think twice about spending that on one lipstick. I personally don't think there's anything about it that is special enough to warrant the price tag. So that's how I look at things. When I find a product that costs a little bit more, I'm quite happy to spend that extra bit of money, providing it's worth it, providing it goes that step further. So here's the lip liner. This is in shade Pillow Talk as well, and I really enjoyed using this. I have used it a lot, so it's not in the cleanest of state anymore. You can see it is one of those pencils that you sharpen. Personally, I prefer a retractable pencil, simply because every time you sharpen it, you're basically chucking a bit of product in the bin every time. And I find with these, because of the pressure that I use to apply my lip liner, I do need to sharpen it quite frequently, so I tend to use a whole pencil very quickly, which I don't think is necessarily the best value for money. But this product has had a lot of good feedback, and a lot of people are raving about the shade, and I really wanted to try it, especially because it matches the lipstick perfectly. Which brings me on to my next point. It really does match the lipstick perfectly, which, yes, you would expect it to, but at the same time I have had experiences where I've bought a lip liner that's supposed to match a lipstick and it just doesn't, and it's really, really frustrating. It's really disappointing and you feel like you've wasted your money. But this is not the case with this one. It's a lovely, lovely shade, and as I say, it's what I call a ladylike pink. The only thing that I would say about it, the only other feedback that I have about this, is the fact that when you apply it, it's not as heavily pigmented as I expected it to be. Now, that can go one of two ways. That can be a positive, because you might be the sort of person that likes to layer up your strength of colour. So sometimes you might want it to be a little bit lighter, and other times you want to layer it up for a more striking look. So in that sense, it's a positive. But on the other hand, you could think it's a bit of a negative, because actually it's going to take you a longer time to apply your lip liner, because you've got to build up the coverage, you've got to build up the pigment to get it to match the intensity of the colour of the lipstick. What a mouthful. So they are the 3 products that I purchased. Let's go on to all of the stuff that I got for free. So the fantastic thing about Charlotte Tilbury is you get a generous amount of samples when you purchase things, but they are also a generous size. So you get a few days use out of them. And if you're a tight ass like me, you'll get a whole week's use out of them. So this is Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream, her renowned moisturiser. It's a lovely thick cream. When you apply it, it is a thick, comforting, balm-like cream. It's almost a balm. It's just a comforting texture. So it smooths on beautifully. It's quite silky. I tend to use a very little amount of moisturiser, and then I add to it if I need to, because I've had too many bad experiences where I've put too much moisturiser on, and being a combination skin type, if I put too much on, it doesn't soak in, and then I'm shiny and oily for the rest of the day, and that just irritates me. So I always use a little and then build up to what I need. So that's what I did with this, and it's really, really super hydrating. It's a very comforting cream. This cream is quite pricey. It's for 50ml, which I believe is the average size product. It's £70, which I think is an awful lot of money. So I was expecting this to do wondrous things for me. It's got an SPF 15 in it, which is fantastic. I like to use an SPF in my moisturiser, my primer, my foundation and my eye cream. If I can't find SPFs, then it is a bit of a turn off for me. It's also got hyaluronic acid in it. Now, hyaluronic acid is a real hero ingredient when it comes to hydrating the skin. Hyaluronic acid is found everywhere in the body for lubricating things like connective tissue, but it's also a hydrating agent because it holds 1,000 times its weight in moisture. So a lot of beauty products will include this as a hydrating ingredient, and it works. It's a fantastic ingredient. So when I saw hyaluronic acid, I was like, thumbs up. The only thing I would say is that looking on her website, there is only one daytime moisturiser. She does a night cream as well, but she does one daytime moisturiser in 2 different sizes. I am a little bit dubious about brands that only include one daycare cream, simply because you can't expect a single cream to suit everybody. So the fact that that is what she's currently doing, she's providing one cream and it is described as if it would suit a multitude of people. I was keen to try it out. It does suit me if I use a real little amount. I'm a combination skin type and it suits me. If you're dry, I would imagine it would suit you beautifully, but if you're oily, I don't know if it might be a little bit on the rich side for you. Okay, so that was the moisturiser. Next is Charlotte's Magic Eye Rescue, and again I got an equally large size sample of that, which is going to last me even longer than the moisturiser. Now, generally speaking, I use a rice grain size amount of eye cream per eye. So when I open this, I squeezed out that amount of product onto my finger and applied it on each eye. And oh my God, it would not soak in. It was like I had put lip balm on my eyes and it actually felt wet on my skin. And I gave it a good 5 minutes while I was doing other things and it didn't absorb any better. So my first recommendation for you would be use a tiny amount, enough to glide around the eye socket, and that should be plenty. If you feel the need to use more, then use more, but don't go in like a bull in a china shop like I did, because you'll waste the product and you might find that it makes you feel a little bit stingy and a little bit puffy. It actually made me a bit puffy because I'd applied too much. So I've had a play, I've tried to get to know the product over the last week, and in the last 2 days I have found the perfect amount. So it's a lovely, lovely cream. It's very rich. It's very rich. So it's great for anti-aging. This is £40 for 15ml. This does not have an SPF in it, so for me initially that is a bit of a downside because the delicate eye area is more prone to aging and dehydration than the rest of our face. So if you put an SPF on your face, you've got to put it on your eyes as well. So for me, I was a little bit like, oh, that's a shame. This product contains soft focus nanoparticles, and the idea of that is that it's going to blur any fine lines and creases around the eye area so that your makeup glides on more smoothly, but to give the appearance of a more youthful and plump looking skin. I've got to say, I didn't notice a benefit from this, and I've been using it a week now and I still don't notice any blurring effect. So you might have a different experience yourself. It's got hydrating rose wax and almond oil in it, which is possibly why initially it felt like a bit of a lip balm, because it's quite rich and it's very good at hydrating. It's a lovely product, but it is very rich, and I do think it's a lot of money, especially considering it doesn't have an SPF in it. The next product that I had a sample in was Charlotte Tilbury's Wonderglow primer. This primer is specifically for tired, dull and dehydrated skin, so it actually has light reflecting particles to add a glow to the skin, and I really noticed that when I applied it I had a very subtle shimmer across my skin. If you're going to be wearing the primer on its own, then this is wonderful. It's a really lovely addition to a product to illuminate your skin, but because I'm the sort of person that wears foundation over the top, it kind of just gets lost. It doesn't really give much of a glow from underneath your foundation, and it's such a subtle shimmer that it just goes unnoticed really. But if you're just going to wear the primer, then it's beautiful. This primer does not have an SPF, which again is a little bit of a shame for me because I want to get as much SPF on my skin as I possibly can. It does have Charlotte's peptide complex and hyaluronic acid. So the peptide complex is her anti-aging ingredient that works on plumping the skin and stimulating collagen production, which is fantastic. And it also has hyaluronic acid like her day cream does. So fantastic for dehydrated skin, for plumping fine lines and blurring the look of creases and things like that. So it's got a really good ingredient profile. In the application tips on Charlotte's website, it does suggest that you use a fine layer of the primer. And I would absolutely agree with that, because when I applied my normal amount of primer, which I would describe as maybe a rice grain amount on each cheek and my forehead, and I tend to blend it in with my fingers, and when I did that, I started to find that I was getting little peels, little roly bits of the product that started collecting on my skin, and I had to like dust them off, and that was really irritating irritating because it affected how well my foundation went on after that. And so the next day I reduced the amount that I applied, and the next day I reduced it even further. So when she says use a fine layer, take it literally. Really do use as fine a layer as you can apply. She does suggest putting it on with a brush, but I find that when you apply a product with a brush, you automatically have to apply more to get the slip and glide, and the brush drinks up a little bit as well. So I would suggest using your fingers to get a light coverage of the primer to avoid that peeling and rolling of the product. I really enjoyed this primer. It's a really nice way to add extra nutrients to the skin and to feed that skin if you are on the dehydrated and tired side of things. The last two freebies that I got from Charlotte Tilbury was her Magic Foundation and her Retoucher Conceal Stick. And they came in the sachets as well, and I got them in shade Fair. So the retoucher was in shade 1 Fair and the foundation was in shade 3 Fair. And I'm actually wearing them today. And again, I feel like I've said this with all of Charlotte Tilbury's products, but less is more. So with the foundation, I think, because I was testing out a new foundation brush at the time, I think I applied too much. And then what happened was every time something came into contact with my skin, I had these like little scuff marks in it. And through using it for a couple of days and reducing the amount that I put on, I did find that actually it stopped doing that if you use less. So I simply just put on too much. The Retoucher Concealer, I am wearing it today under my eyes. This is a really highly pigmented concealer, and it's a liquid concealer as well. I think this is a fantastic concealer. Now this claims to treat the skin and also conceal, so it's treating and perfecting at the same time. It's got hyaluronic filling spheres, that's quite hard to say. So that's going to hydrate and plump out the skin, which is great for the eye area. And it's got a high concentration of pigment in it, so it's really good at concealing any imperfections that you might have. I found when I first used this, I found that it settled in my creases, and again I was just using too much. So I think the really good thing about Charlotte Tilbury that I've got from using all of the products that I've received is that less is more, and that's good because that makes it better value for money. So you can apply a small amount, pat it in, and then add to that and build up layers depending on the coverage that you want. I did try that and that works beautifully. It doesn't cake, it still blends really, really nicely. And I actually suffer with dark shadows under my eyes at the moment. I don't know why, I think I'm just knackered. But I found this was fantastic at concealing those. Now I'm not one to layer up my makeup very heavily. I want to wear as little as I can get away with, and I love the fact that I can do that with this but still get full coverage on anything that I want to hide. And the last thing that I wanted to chat to you about was her Magic Foundation, and this is £30, which is a pretty average amount for a foundation. It does have SPF 15, so bonus, and it's got hyaluronic filling spheres to plump the skin again. It does claim to be poreless and flawless. Now I have huge pores and I hate them, and I'm constantly trying to polyfiller them in and hide them. I haven't found anything that does that yet, but hey, that's a story for another day. This foundation claims to leave you poreless. It claims to tighten the pores, and after a week of using it, I have noticed no difference whatsoever in the size of my pores. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that. So I don't believe it does that really, but she does include a good list of ingredients in her foundation. So it has the anti-aging properties that her day cream does. It has the hyaluronic filling spheres to plump and blur fine lines on the skin. And it has antioxidants with the vitamin C to fight free radicals. So it's got all of the good stuff in there that you would expect from an anti-aging and skin hydrating product. I just don't think it's anything special. I'm sorry to be saying that, that sounds really negative, but if I'm honest with you, I don't notice too much difference in the coverage and the blending and the application and the lasting power of this foundation. I don't notice any difference in it compared to the Max Factor Lasting Performance, which you can get for like a £5. But if you are interested in the anti-aging and hydrating ingredient profile, that is a fantastic benefit that you get with this foundation, is that it is going to fight aging for you. I'm a combination skin type and it does suit me. It blends beautifully with or without a brush, and it gives a medium coverage, I would say, and it lasts the day perfectly. Okay, so that's my roundup of Charlotte Tilbury. I've really enjoyed using her products, and it's really great to see and find out for myself what everybody else has been raving about. I think she's got a fantastic thing going. She's certainly got that attention to detail, and her products have got a real considered ingredients list to benefit a high range of skin types. So her products are multi-use for multiple types of people, and she's really taken into consideration the skincare side of things within her makeup products, which I think is fantastic. I do think a lot of the products are overpriced for what they are, but on the other hand, they're quite economical because you use such a little to get the benefit from them. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I hope I've given you a professional but also a personal take on my reviews of Charlotte Tilbury's products. If you're new to my channel, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button below and then you'll get all of my videos that I do in the future. I've got tons of ideas for videos in the near future, so watch this space and you'll see what I've got coming up. I'd love to hear how you get on with some of the products that I've tried. Thanks for watching. I hope you're all well and I will see you next time.